It's been a day many have been waiting for. Just 4 weeks after her abrupt resignation, the former Premier Gladys Berejiklian was today in the ICAC hot seat. For hours, she was grilled about her personal relationship and work dealings with the disgraced former MP, Daryl Maguire. Secret phone taps and messages between the two of them revealed even more details. State political reporter Ashley Raper begins tonight's coverage.
Gladys Berejiklian arrived determined and defiant.
I will strenuously stress again, as I have every day of my life in public office, that I've always put the interests of the public first and foremost.
Her time in public office ended 4 weeks ago when the ICAC announced this public hearing.
Thank you for the amazing support the public has given to me.
The former Premier took the stand for the second time in just over a year in connection to Daryl Maguire. He was the Wagga Wagga MP and her former secret boyfriend.
If you were able to have your time again, would you disclose your close personal relationship with Mr Maguire to your ministerial colleagues or any of them?
I didn't feel it was of sufficient standard or sufficient significance in order to do that.
Does that mean the answer to my question is no?
I would not have.
Gladys Berejiklian told the ICAC how she defined the relationship.
I regarded him as part of my love circle.
In a text message in 2018, she told Daryl Maguire that, "You are my family."
You regarded Mr Maguire as part of your family, correct?
I had very strong feelings for him, yes.
Was the answer to my question yes?
No, I did not regard him as a member of my family.
It was demonstrative of the deep emotional attachment you had to him, was it not, Ms Berejiklian?
Oh, absolutely, but I had no assurance it was reciprocated or that it was going to lead anywhere. And that is the threshold question, with due respect, Commissioner, that I
think we'll decide the threshold
I'm sorry.
questions, Ms Berejiklian.
Yep.
A conversation was captured on phone taps in 2018 in which Daryl Maguire complained to the then Premier about the Wagga Wagga Hospital missing out on funding in the upcoming state budget.
I'll deal with
Let's do it right.
I'll fix it.
Solidarity, these people, honest to Christ.
I'll fix it.
2 hours later, she told him she had.
Well, I've already got you the Wagga Hospital.
But they should have done it.
I know.
Why did they?
I just spoke to Dom and I said, just put the 140 in the budget. He goes, no worries. He just does what I ask him to.
I can't confirm that because I don't remember.
There is no suggestion of improper conduct on behalf of the then Treasurer, now Premier, Dominic Perrottet. For a Premier who swiftly resigned over this corruption investigation, Gladys Berejiklian gave no ground today, even in hindsight. In fact, she dug in and doubled down, adamant that she's done nothing wrong.
Is seriously saying that Mr Maguire communicated with you as to projects in exactly the same way, that's your phrase, not mine, exactly the same way as all of your other colleagues?
No, what I would say is that all of my colleagues had access to me.
And Gladys Berejiklian told the ICAC that all her colleagues had different styles when advocating for projects. Ashley Raper, ABC News, Sydney.
And more phone taps played today revealed that Gladys Berejiklian questioned Daryl Maguire once it became clear he was coming under scrutiny of the corruption watchdog. She says she never suspected any corrupt behaviour by her then boyfriend, even as he complained it was likely they were already being recorded.
A flippant prediction today proved to be true.
It's worse than the Spanish Inquisition. You know, that people can't even talk anymore. You know, they could be taping your conversation with me right now.
Well, they were, as the ICAC zeroed in on the former Wagga Wagga MP. His venting to Gladys Berejiklian reached fever pitch.
We have become harlots and prostitutes through no fault of our own because of these, rules of transparency, of, arm's length, of not talking to this person or that person or bloody ICAC or everything else.
She probed him as to why he'd been caught up in an investigation into the former Canterbury Council, but today told the Commission she trusted him when he proclaimed his innocence.
You ask the question of Mr Maguire, why is this Member of Parliament who doesn't represent the Inner West, so interested in the Inner West?
I mean, I wasn't concerned that he'd done anything wrong because I believed him that he hadn't done anything wrong. I guess I was just curious as to how he was connected to all of this.
Ms Berejiklian said no red flags had gone up when less than a year earlier he talked of making enough to pay off all his debts.
Didn't it at least strike you as strange that a Member of Parliament would somehow be able to make the very large sum of $1.5 million as, in effect, a secondary employment job whilst being a Member of Parliament?
I don't think I took it too seriously.
You might not have known whether or not Mr Maguire was engaged in inappropriate or corrupt conduct, but you must have at least suspected that, having regard to that information.
No, I don't think I would have paid it any attention. I don't even know if I listened properly.
When questioned about her involvement in the approval of a grant in Daryl Maguire's electorate, Gladys Berejiklian said she didn't remember if she even considered declaring the relationship because the project would benefit the community, not her partner. But the former Premier did concede she may have held off on sacking someone at her boyfriend's request.
Well, I had, what's his name, come and see me today. They rang
I can't stand that guy. His
Well,
head will
that-
be gone soon.
Not until he fixes my conservatorium. He's
Yeah,
the only one
okay.
that's come to do it.
All right, good. Tell him to fix it, and then after he fixes it, I'm sacking him.
She pointed out that the public servant still has their job. Gladys Berejiklian will continue giving evidence on Monday. Kathleen Calderwood, ABC News, Sydney.
And for more state political reporter Ashley Raper is with me. Ashley, Gladys Berejiklian has been insisting today that her relationship didn't meet the threshold required for disclosure.
Yes, Jeremy. Gladys Berejiklian was very much trying to portray her relationship through a legal prism. And despite agreeing with Daryl Maguire's evidence yesterday that the pair loved each other, that Daryl Maguire had a key to her house, that they talked about marriage and potentially having a child, she maintained what she said last year, that the relationship wasn't of a sufficient status to declare. But in the evidence today, there were still questions raised as to why Gladys Berejiklian felt that that was the case. And in a tense moment, the Commissioner pointed out that it was now up to the ICAC to decide the threshold for this relationship being declared. Now, Gladys Berejiklian will be facing more questions at the ICAC on Monday. And Jeremy, it won't just be about the relationship and the potential conflict of interest, but also about what Gladys Berejiklian knew about Daryl Maguire's business dealings.
Ashley Raper, thank you.